We have talked a little bit about the entire global impact, and it looks as though this impact, I want to drive it down a little bit to our economies. So let's come down to the economies that we are having in our world today, globally. So it is not just Nigeria that's facing a lot of global economic challenges. A whole lot of countries are facing economic challenges as we speak. So how would you say youth skills will shape the future of our economies and societies?
Awesome question. Awesome question. But before I speak about how youth skills can shape our economies, it's okay if I begin from the part where we talk about the recognition of the skills. You can't give what you don't have. Okay. In a society where skills are either not recognized or these skills are not given the enabling environments to strive, these skills may not make any impact. Okay. Because we live in a society where skills, just like education over time, has not really been given the enabling environments to strive. Okay, we still have young people say school and scam and all of that, and you don't blame them. Okay, because people who actually go to school, people go to school after maybe 4 years, 5 years, depending on how much strike you are able to encounter. And when you're done, imagine spending all of that in school and then you're back to try to learn a trade. And the idea of learning a skill is just so you can make ends meet. It's not even about you contributing to the economy. It's about you just trying to make ends meet. That's because there is no sustainable planning. There is no there's no government interest in making sure that these skills are worth. I want to say having, but no, you can have them. How are actually worth going into. But this is what I would say. The first way to even know if the skills can be put together to to contribute to economies, okay, is the first thing to do is to let these skills thrive. Can we get to a point where we can give our young people the enabling empowerment to develop their skills? Okay. Can we get to a point where we can give our young people the opportunity, give them the resources, okay, give them the support, give them the mentorship they require to develop their skills? And can we get to a point where every skill matter? Okay, because there are actually skills can be grouped into human skills. I call them soft skills. Okay, which is what is actually lacking in our present society. People are no more interested in these soft skills. Nobody's talking about communication skills anymore. Simple etiquette are no more observed in society today. Okay, nobody's talking about interpersonal and intrapersonal skills anymore. Nobody's interested in that. We are only interested in maybe hard skills, and even the hard skills we don't even have an opportunity to allow them to strive. Government is not giving in the enabling. Well, let me not say giving in. Government is not giving enough enabling empowerment for the skills to strive. And those who struggle to get these skills are not interested in contributing to global economies because they are just trying to survive. Okay. However, if we can give our young people an opportunity to get their soft skills, get their hard skills, get their civic skills, okay, and then these skills are collectively collectively deployed into the making of what makes the fabric of our economies will strive. Okay. Today, every young people wants to run to politics because that is where they think the money is. Okay. Every young people wants to run into anything that will give them quick resources, quick money, because of course that is what the war celebrates. Okay, that is what is being celebrated. We are celebrating things that I don't know, we shouldn't be celebrating them that much, okay? And the things we should actually celebrate, we're not celebrating them. The crafts that we have, the skills that we have, okay? Nobody's talking about them. You see a young man who is trying to bring his skills to being, nobody's supporting him. Okay, we'll rather support someone out there. We'll rather go out there to get resources, get the same manpower that our young people have. We rather go and bring them in and we call them expatriates. Okay. So the economy will not benefit from our skills if our skills are not developed. But if our skills are developed, trust me, no matter how small that skill is, it will go a long way to develop economies. Number one way is that it's going to reduce our importation. By the time we import less and export more, our economy will grow. Why do you have to export little and import more? Okay, when you can actually harness the skills, harness the resources you have, and use them and export more than you import. That's one. Number two, you won't pay as much as that country is currently paying on importing professionals in quotes, skilled people, expatriates in quotes. Okay, when we can harness the people, the expatriates we have in the country, and that will go a long way to reduce how much expatriates we bring in. The truth is, I want to say it again, we've got the brains, we've got the manpower, we've got the resources, we've got everything. All we need is give us a platform to showcase. But no, our people don't. Anyway, it's in the scriptures. The scripture says a prophet does not have a respect or is not honored in his hometown, and that is simple truth. Okay, back home, we're not honored. That's why we are exporting. We train our people. We train our nurses and export them. We train our doctors and export them. We train our engineers and export them. We are exporting human resources. We are exporting natural resources. We are exporting all our skilled labor. And what do? We now import skilled people that are not even as skillful as the ones which we exported. So if we intend to have young people contribute to our economy through their skills, then we must allow their skills to strive. We must invest in their skills and then harness it into the economies, and economies will grow.
Is home. I'd like to. You've also mentioned a whole lot of skills that you think Africans should have, African youth should have, and I see it as a call to action for all young Africans that are watching us. So before we even prefer solutions to what is on ground, we need to know what the problem is exactly. So if you were to recommend skills for young Africans, or what skills do you think is most lacking in among our youths today, so that at least we get to know where to start from?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm going to group the skills into human skills. Okay, let me preferably talk about them in my own words. I prefer to call them soft skills, hard skills, and civic skills. Okay, so I'm going to group them in those three categories. For the soft skills, I think the young people should be able to have one, communication skills. Okay, public speaking skills. I know that most schools are trying a whole lot. I know that most schools are doing GSTs, they're doing English GSTs and all of that. Some call it GSS and all of that. But I think we should be able to teach young people communication skills, okay, public speaking skills. This is because you may have the skill, but if you are not able to communicate this skill, okay, it is one thing to be skillful, it's another thing to be able to tell people what you can do. Okay, I have a lot of people who come to my inbox, and even to start a conversation is a problem. In the global space, people need to be able to know how to start off conversations, how to present their skills, both in writing and in speaking. People should be able to know how to do it. Okay. Now the other thing that can be added into social skill is leadership skill. Okay. Young people are lacking, they're lacking that leadership training. It's not there. Okay, especially in this era, this I don't know if it's still Gen Z, or if we have another generation now. The young people, the leadership skill is not there. Okay, and you can't lead anyone, you cannot lead yourself. So the second thing I want to recommend is leadership skill. Okay, time management skill. Time management skill is very important. These soft skills may look very irrelevant, but trust me, they are very, very important. Okay, time management skills. We still have the African time mentality thing. Okay, that does not suit global best practices. Okay, over here in the UK, time is respected. If an event is for 8 a.m., 8 a.m. it is, even if it's one person that is there. You can't do well in business. You can't do well in anything when you don't have respect to time. And time is of course a resource. Okay, it must be managed properly. Time management skill. Okay. We must also have young people as a soft skill. Okay, a soft skill. Unfortunately, we have young people who write a lot of these things on their CV. When I get people submit CV to me, I see lots of CV. I can work under pressure. I can do all of this. Can we really do all of that? So young people should begin to learn soft skill, learn public speaking, learn communication, learn leadership. Okay, learn emotional intelligence. Okay, all of these skills are necessary. Young people must have it. Speaking about emotional intelligence is important because in a world like ours, we must be able to relate with everybody around us, okay, manage every emotion around us, but remain emotionally balanced even when you are interacting with people. It's a skill that must be learned in this present generation because things are moving very fast. Okay, so these soft skills cannot be overemphasized. Public speaking, leadership, emotional intelligence, time management, okay, and all of that. Now, going to hard skills in the era of global and international computerization of everything. Everything is going digital. Okay, digital skills become one skill that everybody must have. It is no more a skill that we should have; it's a skill that we must all have. Okay, everything is moving global, everything is moving, I want to say everything is moving technological. Okay, so digital skills must be gotten. There is no skilled person that should not find a way to integrate digitalization into whatever he or she is doing. I wonder how, if you're a tailor, you're a teacher, whatever you do, okay, think of AI, think of digitalization, okay. Look for a way to bring it into digital skills, computer skills. It's one thing we could have. I'm going to digress a bit here and say something very funny. So the other day, I learned that we are about to start doing writing examinations on the computer, by examination on the computer. And I smiled and laughed, and I was like, "Whoa, that would be a nice one. Only if we can do it. Okay, only if we have the resources, and then we have the skilled." Okay, the skilled set of people that will now put this into use. So the digital skills, of course, must be there, but we should not also take away other hard skills. Okay, other hard skills, making mention of, I've already making mention of, how do I put this? I call them hard skills, but there's a way I can put this better. Okay, other crafts. Yeah, I call them craft, other crafts. Remember, I said if government will give an enable environment, this people can do very well. Okay, this craft these crowds that look as if they are irrelevant, people who are maybe people who are dustmates, people who are into tailoring, people who are into shoemaking, people who are into any of those crafts, even the craft as old as good as plumbing, as old as bricklaying and all of that. These crafts can be harnessed. These crafts can be modernized. Okay. All they need is the equipment to modernize it. All they need is the training to modernize it. All they need is better opportunity and better, how do I put it? Recognition. Recognition. Trust me. So if we have these hard skills, I love the way young people do things these days. Young people who sew clothes, who say they are into fashion and designing. Beautiful stuff. Okay. this can actually be the new normal.